Welcome to another episode of Follow the Brand TV. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, a 5-star personal brand and business development company. I want to take you on a journey through another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand TV series, you will differentiate yourself from the competition and build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build confidence, and reflect who you are. Building your 5-star personal brand is a great way to improve your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or any of my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh@5starbdm.com. Now, let's begin with our next episode on the Follow the Brand TV.
Five-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
You invested in the latest software. You signed up for every subscription. But somehow you're still buried in manual work. The question isn't which tool to use or how many platforms you need. That's the wrong place to start. The real question is simple. What problem are you actually trying to solve? Before you chase the next shiny app, pause and get clear on the challenge in front of you. Identify the pain points first, then look for solutions that fit. It's not about cutting jobs or replacing people. It's about giving your team the right tools so they can do more with what they have. Start with the problem, not the product, because guessing what you need is not a strategy. Clarity is. Ready to rethink your approach? Start with the problem and let the solutions follow.
Welcome, everybody, to the Follow the Brand podcast. This is your host, Grant McGaugh, and I get an opportunity to talk about a subject that has been top of mind this entire 2026 season as we go now in July 2026. And this, what has been on top, meaning right in front of my funnel, like every day when I'm talking and I'm looking out, is AI automation. People are now have really got a taste of what AI is from a chatbot, a large language model, but they're starting to say, how can I automate business processes? That's what we call business process automation. It's been going on for a long time, but not with an AI layered algorithm on top of that. I want to introduce you to my good friend, Navin. He does this for a living about developing agents, building out workflows, configuring tools, and guided execution around this, especially for small business owners. What this really looks like beyond the hype, because they make it seem so easy if you're following a lot of certain people, but it is not an easy thing in production. Easy thing maybe for beta, but not in production. Production is a whole different animal. So Navin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Nice to meet everyone here and nice to be on the show. So I'm Navin and I'm based out of India. And I have around 25 years experience in the IT sector. Mostly I've been working with clients in the US, UK, Canada, and the Western countries. So prior to the AI era, I've been doing a lot of, data analytics, a lot of market studies and things like that, a lot of building up sales funnels. It used to be a lot manual process back then. But in this AI era, it's more like automation using systems such as Go Higher Levels. And there are so many other systems in the marketplace. Like, and I'm adept at everything. I've used all the systems. Different clients prefer different technologies, different methodologies. Sometimes they take a subscription to a particular SaaS platform because someone told them to, but they don't know exactly how to use it or how to derive value from it for the business. So that's where I help them and apply my knowledge because I have a good understanding of data structures and how these systems are layered in the backend. So if they are providing certain outcome, I exactly know how it's configured in the backend and how to properly optimize it. So that's my expertise area where I understand, a business from a founder's point of view, understand what the problems are, understand where the bottlenecks could be, and then use technology and these modern systems to bring about efficiency in those workflows and make life easier for whoever is running the business,
And this is what I want to ask you, because I think what you just said there, because now people say, oh, okay, we have an expert in the room. Like, yes, we have Navin, he's an expert in the room, especially when we're talking about agentic AI. He's lived this world for a long time, even before they were calling it AI. Business process automation has been around, but it is taking on a different look. You just mentioned some of this stuff was done manually, now it's done automatically. But taking that AI knowledge and turning it into a practical revenue generating solution. That is where you sit and live. Help us first understand the problem that you normally see with small business owners when they see this shiny object and say, oh, wow, I can take one person and make them five by utilizing the AI agents or agentic AI agents. What's the common problem that most people don't see before they kind of jump in to this new technology?
Right. So let's take an example. Let's say there's a financial advisory firm, right? There are a lot of financial advisors in that firm. And when they're dealing with their clients, after they're meeting with the clients, they have to prepare proposal reports. They get a certain set of input data, then they have to do some number crunching on that data and provide a financial report to the clients, right? So it becomes a very manual process where you're crunching the numbers manually using Excel or whatever. So this is a perfect example where an AI system would be very helpful. It takes inputs from a set of data. It could be a PDF, it could be some sort of Excel sheet or anything, and then it applies, the software takes over, does all the number crunching, and what could have taken 4 to 5 hours to prepare a report and present it to the client now just takes about 30 minutes or maybe even lesser because it's all optimized and processed through a system, you know and but as a business owner, you as a financial advisor, let's say, you just know the numbers, you know how it should be working, but you don't know how to put it into a technical language, you know
Mhm.
yeah, how to present it to a technical person so that he can design a system which automatically does that number crunching.
Mhm.
So my expertise lies in that area because I understand both the business and also the technology. So I'm sort of the bridge between the business problem and the technology that's going to solve it.
This
You
is
know?
important. I want to
Ye-
already really lean in what you just said because we are so used to, especially when you're dealing with large language models, and we're all enamored by AI chatbots and things like that. We're speaking human language to a machine language for the most part. but
Right.
there's a certain way that you have to present that data, what you're saying, in order for that machine language to truly understand what it is that you want to get you that type of output. And going back to what I've been talking about all year about deterministic systems and then probabilistic systems, when you're dealing with probabilities, especially in numbers, you want exact, precise numbers. If you're putting everything into an AI engine, you might not always get the exact right answer. Is that correct?
Yeah, governance is a big part of AI. People think, okay, we have an AI system and it's going to do everything for us, right? That's true to an extent, but then there's also a concept of AI governance,
Mm-hmm.
where the output that AI gives to be validated by a domain expert, you know? So someone running a medical report on certain data and, generating some sort of a report, but then that has to be validated by a medical expert to to verify that the data that has actually been presented is correct. So a lot of people say that, okay, AI is going to replace, human labor, humans, right? But that's not 100% true. It's going to do a lot of the work that humans have been doing, but the domain expertise is still going to be there. So someone still has to validate what AI is presenting, So that's called AI governance. It has to be a big part of the workflow when businesses are implementing AI in the organization.
I love what you see. I want our people to really understand that domain authority, your particular expertise, where you understand right from wrong, you know what needs to be done is still necessary. Because even when, like even myself, I ask for an output, let's say in an AI chatbot, they'll give me some output. I'm like, no, I need to revise that. I might go 3 to 4 reiterations. The machine is not going to just do that on its own because as far as it's concerned, it's done its job, right? It's gotten the right output. It doesn't understand that if it's right or wrong. It's just as far as it's concerned, it's giving you what you asked for. So when you get into agentic AI modeling, now you're starting to get to multi-step applications. Now I'm going to go still in the problem world, not the solution world, because if you're taking bad data and now you're scaling it and you're manipulating it and it's continuously being worked through an agentic type system. And agentic again means multi-step. It has different tasks that it's doing. That's how you're building out the automations. So in order for it to be reliable, you've got to have somebody that understands what that output needs to be look like at every step of that interaction. Help us understand that a little bit deeper.
Yeah, for example, let's say, uh, someone is trying to implement a AI system in the organization, right? So the team that is developing that AI system needs to have the input from the domain expert. Like, traditionally, we have been using these inputs, and then we have been getting this output, right? So how do you, that's like arriving from step A to step, let's say F, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, right? So that domain expert knows the data is going through several steps to get a final outcome. Now, when an AI system is being implemented, that domain expert really has to explain it to the tech team, and then they understand the workflow and implement it, right? Okay, let's take an example where, let's say, a business, an e-commerce business, they have the problem that their cost of operations is high and revenue is low, right?
Mhm.
So how does AI solve that problem? You know, so probably the e-commerce company, they have data segmented into different channels or platforms. Like they may have a Slack channel, they may have a, customer support system, they may have the CRM, may have the meeting recordings, right? Where different team members are discussing the challenges that they're facing with customers. So all of that data, when it accumulates over a period of time, it becomes very fragmented, and you cannot actually derive the essence out of that data,
Mm.
you know? Like what is the essence that is lying within that data that can help the founders, the management take some actions and improve, like what needs to be improved to reduce the cost of operations, to increase the revenue, because within that data, there may be certain complaints by the customers who may be saying, okay, the competitor product has this feature or this attribute which your product doesn't have. Could we implement that in your product? If you could implement that, your product would be so much more better than the competitor's product, right? But that sentence may get lost in the entire, the entire volume of information that is out there, right? So a system, an AI system, and it's programmed to capture every data point, it won't miss it, right? And it'll incorporate everything said by every customer and give a summarized, synthesized output, which helps the management take better decisions, improve their product, improve their customer service. And this overall improves how the customers feel about the company, about the product, the overall customer experience.
I truly
Another,
believe, I want people to understand that in my world, I used to say technology does three things very, very well. But I'm going to say it does
Mhm.
five things very, very well now, meaning speed. It does things very fast. So if you need to speed something up in your manual work processes, you might start looking at an AI type system. Communication, especially anything that's repetitive or routine, or it has to be communicated in different modalities, whether it's video, it's audio, it's text. Communication is very, very good from a technical standpoint. Another thing is scale. How can you scale it in many different ways, right? So that's very good when it comes to execution. You've got bottlenecks and things of that nature. Well, there's two other things that are very important. Memory. So memorizing and having a memory of context within the project that you're working with, right? So you don't have, especially when you got these disconnected software systems, when that does it remember all these different inputs and what's there. So memory is another big deal when it comes to technology if you need something memorized. And then that last one is patterns. And I love that. I said patterns. It really understands patterns, or it can be maybe able to discern patterns a lot quicker than the human eye. So if you put all those five things together of what it can do, then you start looking at your workflows that you're talking about. You know your workflows a lot better. And then you can say, if this is a quiver, do I need more speed here? Do I need better communication right here? Can I scale at this point? Do I need things to be memorized? Everybody has their storage, really, as we're talking about, right? And then can I recognize the patterns and the trends that are very important for decision support, so I can now, to your point, solve a business problem. I've got too much overhead and I don't have enough revenue. But if I have some of these five things operating in the system, maybe I can get to what I want to do. Does that summarize a little bit of what you're talking about?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, for example, there may be a certain process in a company where five people are doing the same repetitive process. Right? They're doing something manually and it's a repetitive process. So that's a perfect candidate for automation.
Mhm.
Like you said, AI is useful where because it remembers things, it does things fast. And it does where repetition is a problem, it really speeds up things. So definitely what you said aligns well with an agentic AI system.
Yes. So what? Let me ask you this. So now you've been in technology a long time, and now you've seen AI really kind of changed the platform. I call it enterprise process applications that are now done a lot quicker, a lot better. Where before it would have took you probably a long time to get to that result. What's some of the biggest things that are kind of an aha moment for you now? Like, wow, I couldn't do this 6 months ago, but now I can do it now.
A lot of things in terms of marketing as well. Like earlier, preparing content, right? Social media was a big thing back days and still is. So preparing content for social media used to be, such a big problem. You writing content or getting ideas, you know, different and researching different business trends and finding out ideas to talk about from there. So all of this has become so much easier, you know and then following up with customers, like for example with a system such as Go High Level or any other competitor system for that matter, it's become so much easier to stay in touch with clients,
Mhm.
right? You put in the details of the client into the system, and it sends out automated newsletters to them. It sends out automatic updates to them. It's become so much easier to nurture clients, so much easier, as a result, so much easier for them to understand your product, understand your services, and feel more connected to you. So all of that has become so much easier, which used to be difficult
I
a couple
and
of
expensive.
years.
You said it was expensive. Only the most wealthiest companies could do something like that. Like it was so far advanced that you couldn't afford to maintain a system like that. But now the common person with very low investment can have a system of agentic AI systems that can do all these. You can automate these tasks, can get you better productivity, can get you better decision making, can scale your workflows, very efficiently, but your cost hasn't gone up, but your productivity has gone up, and I would hope your revenues and profits would go up. Um, is it that hard to implement these days? What are some of the things that people need to understand about that?
The most important thing to understand is, not tools. It's not like using a certain set of tools, but rather identifying the problems that are holding you back, right?
Mhm.
Some problems AI may be able to help, some AI may not be able to help, right? But understanding the problems and then having a clear vision, like what is the AI roadmap to solve it? That's
Mhm.
the most important thing. It's not like, okay, I purchased this tool, I purchased that tool, and now I'm going to adapt those tools to my business,
Yeah.
right? It should not be that way. It should be the reverse. It should be first identifying the problems and then finding out what tools are appropriate to solve those problems, you know?
No,
Yeah.
100% on that. That's why I said you have to first understand what the tools do and then look at your business process. So like, all right, where am I having the most friction at? Where is the real bottleneck? Because if you've got great customer service, you don't necessarily have to put an AI automated voice system in. That might be fine. But then you might find out, man, processing these orders is becoming very tedious, and I got to take a lot of my most valuable resources, should be your human resource, and I got to put them back there to do all these repetitive, redundant, manual tasks. And then you're like, wow, is that something I can automate? Right? I think that's very, very important. So I think you help businesses to think through that, because they may like, I've never really thought through that. I don't have my operating procedures like in front of me. I don't really know where all the bones are buried, let's say, in my business operations. Do you help talk them through that?
Yes, definitely. That's my key strength, you know. Like I mentioned earlier too, I've been in business for so long and have interacted with so many founders, so many business owners. I've worked through their challenges, and I can really, once I speak to a founder, once I speak to a few people in an organization, I can understand where the challenges are and what could be solved there to make things and life easier for them. So I definitely work through the challenges with the people I work with.
I would definitely
Yeah.
bring you in because that's the big before you now with the honest understanding before you start spending tools or I should say buying tools and spending monthly amount or talk to an expert like Navin who's going to help you because if your whole goal is to like where can I automate because I'm hearing the hype I understand where hey if I'm a small business I might be a business of one person a business of 5 10 people but I can 10x that utilizing AI agents and agentic AI, what does that look like? How can I do that to make my team more efficient? It's not about replacing human beings, but it's like, hey, if I don't need to hire another person, I can just AI enable the people I have to do things better to achieve the objective of the business. I think that's very, very important. So that's why you need an expert like Navin. Like you said, you understand the language of the business and you understand the language of the technology. So then you can begin to help them through that journey. Now, help us understand the difference between a custom AI solution that something that's built for that specifically for that organization, and then an off the shelf type SaaS software as a service type AI application.
For example, let's say uh, I've been working with a client, where they receive certain medical reports and then they enter it into a platform, right, for certain monitoring and things. So a couple of years back, we were getting those reports, and those reports, the data was being fed into the system manually, right, one at a time. You know, it had errors, it had chances of errors because it was manually. You had to look at the report and then enter it into the system. But now, recently, what has happened is you just take that report, upload it to the system, and the system automatically detects the data and puts it at the right places where the exact step that was being done manually a couple of months or years back. You know, so that's a custom solution,
Mhm.
right? I- That's a custom solution because it's a very unique problem where you need to pick up certain data points from a PDF and populate a online platform. So that's a custom solution. A automated solution could be like an off-the-shelf program, like let's say Go High Level. I'm talking about Go High Level again, right? Supposing you're running a campaign, you know, and let's say you're running a real estate campaign where you're a realtor and you have certain properties, and you want to generate more leads for that property, right? You'd put up a post on, let's say, Instagram, and say, okay, people who are interested in this property, drop me a hi, right? The people, they drop a message, and automatically the Go High Level system takes over, and it sends them a form, form to fill up, right? No manual intervention here. The Go High Level system is automatically doing that. The person fills up the form, what's his budget, what type of property he's looking for, and everything. And that form again populates the data into Go High Level, and then the Go High Level sends in more reports, more about the property, more about the area in general, like what's the crime rate there, how many schools are there, and different, basically the entire whatever the property person who's trying to buy the property needs to know about that place. It's a sort of nurturing system that. So this is an off-the-shelf system. The entire thing is already built in, but you just need to configure it.
Yeah,
So
purposeful.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
important to understand. And then the difference between the two of owning something, maybe you want to make it into intellectual property, so it's your proprietized system as to something that you utilize, like a Microsoft prop farm or something like that. And then a lot of people, you'll find out that they white label some of these systems as their own intellectual property as well. Talk to me more about your particular company. I think you're the CEO and owner of the company. Talk to me about the company and what it does.
So basically mine is an IT company. So we've been in business for almost 25 plus years now. Okay. And we've been dealing mainly with CRM systems, a lot of market studies, data analytics, a lot of hand holding with clients to achieve their goals. Right? For example, I work with a lot of coaches, and the coaches, what they need to do is they run different programs, different training programs, right? So setting up the webinar systems for them, setting up the entire workflow for them, where, linking up the payment gateways, configuring different training products. So all of that kind of thing. Basically, and I have a team. Besides me, I have a team. So each of my team members, they are experts in their own areas, own systems, you know, and together as a team, we are able to provide any kind of IT solution that a company is facing challenges with, you know.
I know you've
So
demonstrated a lot of, you understand the implementation, what it takes to get there. You are affordable, which I like. You're one of the partners that we're working with now, and I really appreciate that. And I know what another thing that you do that I don't think a lot of people are aware of, that you review and audit AI solutions. Help us understand, what does that mean when you're auditing an AI solution?
let's say these days, back in the old days, SEO, search engine optimization, was a big thing, right? And now these days, with the advent of AI, it's more like you know AEO, that's artificial engine optimization.
Mm.
So yeah, so what happens is you need to train all these AI modules like Claude and ChatGPT. So people these days, they are not searching for they're not actually looking searching for information. They're looking for answers. They ask like ChatGPT, okay? They ask like, who are the top dealers of this product in my area, right? They're looking for answers. So people, let's say a particular company, they need to be found on AI. They need to be found on AI. People need to find them on AI. So someone asks like, okay, who's the best insurance advisor in my area, right? So a person who is AEO optimized, whose company is AEO optimized, they'll appear in the chat results, you know? So those, yeah, but the results that AI is giving out, we need to audit whether they are the right. If someone says, okay, those are the top results, whether they are actually the top results or not, you know. So those kind of audits we do. Like earlier I mentioned, like reports being uploaded into a platform, and then the platform, whether it's picked up the data correctly and populated the right fields. So that's again AI auditing. AI has done its output, but then we need to audit whether it's correct or not.
See, and I want everybody to understand what he's saying. There's a big shift going on in the digital world, where before a lot of people, they would optimize their websites and things like that for search engine optimization. Well, the behavior of people has changed. So you're not just going to Google, typing in information and getting those 10 blue links that no one would really go into the other pages. If you weren't in the top 10, you're not going to probably be found. Well, now people are going to their AI model and it's just asking a question and getting an answer. Well, how is now the AI chatbot getting that information? Where is it pulling it from, and where is it going to then display it, in front of the user? That is gold right now, because you want that. You want to be known as the expert in the field, in the mind, let's say, of the AI engine. That goes back to what you were saying earlier, understanding the difference between human language and then machine language. You have to be able to speak to the machine in a certain way that it says, yes, I want to get Grant McGaugh and five-star BDM into that answer for the AI chatbot to present to the user. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So that's called artificial engine optimization. And that's something all businesses have to look to in the coming days because everyone is now searching for answers. They want answers, ready answers, rather than them looking for something and then deciding on an answer for themselves.
Yeah, you're getting more precise information. These AI chatbots are talking to you in a very authoritative voice, so it sounds very, very confident with the information that's coming back to you. But you have to have a certain influence there to get the right result that you're looking for. So understanding AI is only the beginning. The implementation creates real business impact. And I'm saying that because those are Navin's words to me. Understanding AI is only the beginning. Implementation creates real business impact. And this is why we need to work with organizations that Navin runs, and then why this is so important. So as I leave you with this last question, and I want I want you to think about this. Why do you do this kind of work?
Actually, it's been a passion for me because I love solving problems. I love understanding challenges and solving problems. So that's why uh, I did my computer science engineering in the first place. So since the time I graduated, that's been my passion, and that's what kept me going for these 25 years. So I'm still as excited as I was on day one.
I like that. And I want to ask you this other, because I've been in technology, what, 30 some odd years now. And, with AI, coming on the scene in the last 2 to 3 years, I noticed, and maybe it's just a marketing thing or what, but all of a sudden, all these other companies are all AI experts. And I'm like, well, what were you doing before 2022 or 2023? Like, what was your expertise before that? Because if you didn't understand business process automation, or you didn't understand software code, you didn't understand all these other things that preceded what you would call AI algorithms, the way it's utilized today. Do you think there's a lot, of confusion in the marketplace when people are starting to look like, oh, well, this person must, they say they know AI automations, but you got to peel that back a little bit, don't you think?
Yeah, that's true. So just to understand your question, what you're trying to say is what was happening prior to 2022, right?
Yeah, yeah, man. Like there's so many companies out there. All of a sudden, they all are saying that they're all AI experts. Let's say it like that. And you're saying, well, but what were you doing before? You have 20 years experience. You've seen this whole industry just in digital transformation taking place, and they had all kinds of names for it: the digital front door, the transformation project, software enabled applications. I mean, you just but is it more about marketing, or is it an expertise now that people are adopting, or maybe they've always had? I don't know how you discern that.
Like what I've seen, and I was thinking about it a couple of days back as well. So what people really called AI these days always been there in some form or the other, not as pronounced, but still there, you know. For example, what is AI? It's intelligence, artificial intelligence, right? So you know, running some sort of a workflow or thing. Like earlier, there used to be MailChimp and things. So some sort of, intelligent data, you know, d- deciding on some intelligent data on those systems was already there, but it has evolved over a period of time. And that's what we are calling AI these days, you know. But portions of it were still there prior to 2022 as well.
I hear you. And that's what I wanted to understand that part because there's always been logic. Software is logic. So the if
Yeah,
has always been there. That's what we call deterministic. But now you're giving it the flair probabilistic. So
y-
probability plus speed,
right.
right?
Yes. So earlier, it used to be only that technical people used to understand, the logic. Computer science, as you say, is all logic. Okay, if this happens, what happens next? Or if that happens, what happens next, right? It used to be in code form. Only technical people, people who know coding, they used to understand that. But these days, all that has been presented into a package such that even a layman who doesn't know coding or who doesn't know technology can understand it. So it's a matter of presentation.
I like that. So it's commoditized or got down to a point where like I said, the common man can utilize it. That's why I see the world now in this giant IT experiment that everybody is involved in. If you're using Claude and then you get Claude code, all of a sudden now everybody can create code at speed and you're creating software applications at speed. But there's a lot more into it. And I guess that's where we're going to help people understand this. It's not just now you have a coding platform, you might have a beta, you might have an application that could possibly produce a certain output, but there's a lot other things that go into that whole process that I don't think a lot of people, especially if they're not used to what the IT world actually looks like and from a business standpoint, haven't even contemplated that. And this is one of the reasons why you need a person like yourself to guide them along that path.
Yeah, definitely. It's some things you understand in theory, right? You read through a thing and you understand, okay, and you feel, okay, that's a good thing. I need to implement it for my business, right? But it gets overwhelming at times where, you need to understand a lot of technical jargon and it gets overwhelming at times. So, and you'd rather spend that time on your business, you know, and so that's where people like me, consultants like me, can be useful, that we implement those processes and at the same time explain it to you, like what's happening. So you just need to know the parts that are useful to you to run that application or to run it for your business, but you don't really have to go into the technicalities because that defeats the purpose of AI. AI is meant to save you time, but if you get into too much technicalities, that's going to take up a lot of your time, you know?
Oh, you said it right. Exactly. You need to concentrate on things that your business expertise, your domain expertise is in the business that you know, or the product or service that you produce, right? So then you want just to AI enable it. Remember going back to those five things I talked about: the speed, the communication, the actual scalability, the memory of processes, and then also the patterns there. So I believe that, especially if I started BDM, that you can succeed with AI when you get beyond the theory and you become part of the everyday operations. I think Navin will help you understand that, so you can begin to see your operations grow. He's explaining it to you, but you don't have to get into the weeds of it. So again, taking away your time. One of the big things that people like about AI that saves them time, and it should also help them to grow, monetarily and actually improve their intelligence along the way. Would you like to leave us with any last thoughts before we conclude?
Yeah, the last thoughts would be, you have to consider AI as an enabler, right? Enabler. So it is meant to save you time and improve your life. And, so that's how you should look at it, not as a competitor that's, that's taking away people's jobs or anything but rather as an enabler that's helping you become more efficient.
I love that. I love that. And if people want to contact you, what's the best possible way?
Best possible way is my email. Once we get connected on email, then I can just drop in my WhatsApp number or my Slack channel or whatever is convenient for them to communicate with me.
Awesome. Awesome. I can't wait to work with you, especially a lot of businesses that I work with, because they understand they have to identify what the opportunity will look like. We have to work with you on that. We can design the workflows, we can build the automations, we can create the assistance, implement the AI, optimize the solution that you need, and get the answers you want, and then remove those roadblocks. There's some of the things that when working with Navin and myself that we're able to do. So I want to thank you again for being on the show on the 5starbdm.com platform we call Follow the Brand. So thank you so much for being a guest, Navin. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much. My pleasure to be on the show.
You're welcome.
So man, who's your favorite podcaster? Man, Grant, man. I love Grant's podcast. Well, who's Grant? I'm going to send you the link. I love Grant.
I love the interview. I've done a lot of these, and this is a great one. It's always great to talk to people who know what they're doing, and it's clear you're a great host, and you've done this many times before.
I feel great that we're having this conversation here. Met a new person in business who I previously didn't know.
It was an amazing podcast. Grant is an amazing interviewer. I learned a lot.
Really enjoyed this. Great questions, great talk track. Super appreciate you having me on. It's been a very fun episode to talk about a lot of things that I don't always get to dive into. So this has been a fantastic conversation.
I wouldn't be where I am here today, of course, not on this stage. However, not in my current business projection and my current business model without working with you.
The difference between influence and legacy, it's the platform that carries your voice. You're not visible because you lack talent. You're visible because your brand doesn't speak. I've built 5-star BDM to change that. Most leaders have the expertise, but not the presence, the vision, but not the vehicle. Across 3 cities, one brand is helping leaders rise above the noise. Here in the heart of Omaha, strategy isn't left to chance. It's engineered with precision. In Omaha, we engineered your Zachner brand, AI-powered, data-driven, precise. TISA went from a local nonprofit to a national speaker in 90 days. We don't guess your brand strategy, we build it. On the shores of St. Croix, your brand takes on depth and meaning, shaped through curated retreats and legacy experiences. In St. Croix, strategy becomes soul. Our retreats don't just refine your message, they rediscover your mission. One founder rewrote his entire company story here. Funding followed 30 days later. This is where leaders remember who they were meant to be. In vibrant Miami, momentum meets amplification, transforming your voice into a movement. In Miami, your brand becomes a movement. Business development accelerators, audience building. Joy came with an old website and an outdated company name, but she left with 5,000 followers and a waiting list. This is where you scale with soul. 3 cities, 1 mission. Your legacy ignited. It started with a thread. Let's pull it together. Stop blending and start leading. 5-Star BDM, where legacy is engineered, embodied, and ignited. Visit 5starbdm.com and book your brand audit today.
The 5-Star BDM LinkedIn social selling course can help you stand out and attract the right connections and opportunities. We will help you professionally create your profile, provide personalized recommendations for improvement, and help you create and share engaging content to help you showcase your skills and expertise. Our 5-step course makes connecting with industry experts, finding job opportunities, and building meaningful relationships easy. Social selling can be an effective way for you to generate leads and close deals, but it does have its challenges. Our course will help you solve the problems associated with digital networking. If you need help personalizing your outreach and messaging, which can lead to low response rates and a lack of engagement. If you need help targeting the right prospects, this course is for you. With so much noise on social media, it can be challenging to cut through the clutter and get your message in front of the right people. Our course will personalize your messaging using our targeting tools and research. You can identify and reach the right prospects. We will also show how to deliver high quality, valuable content that attracts and engages prospects and clients. The 5-star BDM LinkedIn social selling course will address these challenges by implementing best practices. As a result, you can improve your social selling efforts and generate better results. Are you looking to improve your LinkedIn profile and reach a wider audience? Social selling is an effective way for you to generate leads and close deals, but it does have its challenges. Some common problems we saw with social selling include lack of visibility. If your profile is not optimized or you're not actively participating in groups or sharing content, it can be difficult to get noticed on LinkedIn. Number 2, lack of personalization. Some businesses struggle with personalizing their outreach and messaging, which can lead to low response rates and a lack of engagement. Also, difficulty targeting the right prospects. It can be difficult to identify and target the right prospects on social media, especially if you don't have access to robust targeting tools. And number 4, outdated content. If your LinkedIn profile or content is not up to date, it can give the impression that you're not actively engaged on the platform or that your skills and experience are not current. And lastly, poor quality content and not leveraging video and picture to convey ideas. To solve these problems, the 5-star BDM LinkedIn Optimization Social Selling Video course will help you focus on personalizing your outreach and messaging to better connect with prospects. In module number 1, the foundation, we will help you create high quality, valuable profile that will attract and engage. In module 2, the story, optimizing your LinkedIn profile to make sure it is complete, accurate, and visually appealing. In module number 3, the experience, using your targeting tools and research to identify and reach out to the right prospects. In module number 4, engagement, establishing a consistent follow-up process to nurture leads and build relationships over time. And lastly, in number 5, execution. Understand the metrics to help you measure your brand effectiveness. By addressing these challenges and implementing best practices, you will improve your social selling with the 5-star BDM LinkedIn Optimization Social Selling course. Listen to what others have said about 5-star BDM.
Grant, I'll tell you why I'm here, right? I'm here because I love your brand. When we started chatting on LinkedIn, we connected. I checked you out and I go, man, this guy knows what he's talking about.
You were definitely instrumental in helping to shape that knowledge of who I am. Because at first I thought, well, I am an actress. I am a writer. I am a producer. I am a speaker. And so I said, well, I must be a creative communicator. I know that there is a narrative thread here, but you nailed it when you said you are a storyteller. So you brought it all together in this cohesive title.
Sign up today to improve your social selling opportunities.
Grant McGaugh did not begin his journey in branding. His roots are in healthcare information technology, where he spent over 30 years witnessing the consequences of broken systems. The loss of his father, due to systemic bureaucratic failures, transformed his career into a mission. That loss gave me a mission to ensure that the leaders who have the power to fix these systems are actually seen and heard. This personal experience drives the vision behind building a 5-star enterprise. Today's enterprise leaders, especially in healthcare, technology, and finance, face a unique set of challenges. They must scale their thought leadership to attract both capital and talent, but traditional branding agencies cannot keep pace. Public artificial intelligence tools pose compliance risks, potentially exposing proprietary data or violating regulations like HIPAA and SEC. Unquantified reputation also means missed opportunities during mergers, acquisitions, or funding rounds. 5-Star BDM specializes in building the digital authority of healthcare administrators, tech founders, and financial executives. The approach is rooted in the intersection of human-to-human authority and advanced technology. Through world-class personal branding, compliant artificial intelligence ecosystems, and direct pipelines to middle-market capital, 5-Star BDM transforms digital authority into measurable enterprise value. Their proprietary Brave Blueprint strategy and private cloud artificial intelligence integrations ensure both visibility and security, while capital readiness converts reputation into tangible business outcomes. Framework. Authentic leadership is at the core of the 5-star approach. The BRAVE framework, detailed in Grant McGaugh's book, stands for beliefs, resilience, authenticity, vision, and execution. These pillars guide leaders to define their convictions, navigate adversity, lead from their true selves, envision the future, and turn strategy into measurable action. This framework is not about creating personas, but about amplifying genuine purpose. To protect clients, 5-Star BDM draws a clear line between proprietary intellectual property and vetted infrastructure partners. Their Sentinel brand assistant automates brand maturity assessments, while Voices of the Diaspora brings cultural intelligence to environmental, social, and governance messaging. Partnerships with leaders like CloudSource ensure that artificial intelligence environments meet strict enterprise governance standards. Delivery is tailored to client needs, from the 8-week AI Business Accelerator for mid-size businesses to white-glove enterprise implementation for C-suite executives. The result is amplified digital authority, quantified audience assets, and investor-ready brand narratives, all contributing to measurable enterprise value. Grant McGaugh's return to Omaha, Nebraska, brought AI literacy and business development resources to underserved entrepreneurs. The 5-Star BDM team combines proprietary technology with human oversight, ensuring every client's journey is both innovative and authentic.
Hey everyone, it's Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM and host of the award-winning Follow the Brand podcast and TV series, where I help you to build a 5-star brand that people will follow. My genius is personal brand development through intelligent communication and helping you achieve your business and career goals. I am a requested speaker on digital technology and brand development issues. I want to work with you to increase the value of your current opportunities while attracting new ones. Every one of you is unique, and we all share challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. As a super connector, I work with you as an executive coach to guide you along the complicated business and career development road, providing the enhancement tools and information you need to succeed. Together, I will help you succeed in today's challenging business climate. I will evaluate and measure your progress. Best of all, I am right alongside you every step of the way.
Build the brand called you. Genius is coming.
Tune in for our next show or click on our website at www.5starbdm/followthebrandtv. Thank you.